Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. Now this is a bit of a special Teamfight Tactics video, and that is because this is video number 375. And with this video, I've officially done more videos for Teamfight Tactics than I did for League of Legends, which is hard to believe, but I guess I have been doing these videos for 5 years now. In any case, this is an appropriate video to celebrate. This is going on during the 5-year anniversary celebration for TFT. And in this game, we're going to be looking at a Highroll game featuring Dryad and Fated trait. This is actually probably the biggest Highroll game that I've had up until this entire set so far. So this is going to be a pretty entertaining game. And as I said, kind of a fitting one to have for number 375. All right, so on the initial portal here, I was hoping we would get the 3-cost champion. We do not get the 3-cost champion. This is a normal game. Not a double-up game, not in the Pengu's Party mode, which is like the traits come back from previous sets, just a normal game I wanted to play. Again, the reason why I'm playing these games is I'm trying to finish getting the 5th-year anniversary pass because there's a lot of nice free stuff being given out as part of that pass, so I have to play a few more games of TFT. I didn't plan on casting this one. I just figured I always try to turn the recording software on when I'm playing TFT, and sometimes, you know, you just get footage that you want to end up using. All right, now the initial minion round drops a Gnar, and my initial thought when I saw the Gnar was, I was like, all right, well, you know, maybe I could look to play something with Dryad here. Anytime you get an early Gnar or an early Kindred, you might be thinking, maybe this is a decent game to play Dryad. And then I also had the Rek'Sai in the initial shop as well, so I can get Dryad trait in here from the beginning. And in fact, this is going to be a Dryad and a Fated game. I mentioned that I did a video, I think it was one of the last videos I did before I stopped playing set 11, up until they brought back the whole birthday celebration thing. One of the last videos I did before that was looking at Dryad plus Fated, these two traits that kind of overlap specifically in the personality of Kindred, who has both traits. I played that like maybe a day or two before that build kind of exploded in popularity and suddenly was everywhere across TFT afterwards. Like I kind of was on the early edge of that because I had seen some people posting on it on TFT Reddit. But of course, that was a little while earlier. By the way, I get another Gnar here. That build became super popular and then it got nerfed. And so now it's kind of gone through the full nerf circle and no one's playing that build again. So I'm actually going to be mostly uncontested in this lobby because this build, like I said, it got buffed and then it got nerfed and then it came back again. Now I wasn't quite sure what to pick, and then I see this Fated crown, gain a Fated emblem, a Sunfire Cape, and Kindred. And as soon as I see that, I jump all over that one. Now I actually did have a 2-star Kha'Zix there, and maybe I should have held that unit because that would have actually put Reaper trait in play for Kindred, but this is a game where I'm not going to be playing Reaper trait, and the reason why I sell that is I just want to go into Fated trait instead. So we're going to get 3 Dryad, 3 Fated here because I have a Fated crown. And now I'm also going to look to itemize Kindred because I would like to play through the Kindred here in the early game. I also need to match up which units are getting the Fated pair bond. It's currently Ahri and Kindred, but I think I end up swapping that. Ahri provides, it's actually not a terrible pairing to have here because Ahri provides additional AP and Kindred provides additional attack speed, and both of those stats are actually pretty useful to have on these 2 units. So I'm going to go ahead and put the tank items on Rek'Sai. I'm going to do this because I know Rek'Sai is going to come out of this comp later on, so it's perfectly fine to put tank items on Rek'Sai for now. Later on, I would want tank items to go either on Thresh or on Ornn, and we'll see which one I'm hitting, which one I hit first. All right, as I said, these traits have a great deal of synergy, largely in the person of Kindred, because Kindred does have both of these traits. Kindred also has Reaper trait, since they are one of the units that have 3 traits. And by the way, I'm pretty lucky to get a 2-star Gnar there early on here, so I'm happy to have that. And I'm going to make use of the fact that I've already got a 2-star Dryad unit, although I don't know if Gnar will stay in this board long term. Out of these other items, I could potentially make Spear of Shojin. It's not bad on Kindred. It's better to have blue buff. And mostly what I'm planning to do here is have Kindred hold items for Ahri later, Syndra, excuse me. I already have Ahri on the board. Have Kindred hold items for Syndra later on in this game. So Kindred can hold them early, and then I can transfer them over to Syndra. And in fact, they have actually very similar itemization. They both would like to have a blue buff, and then they would both like to have a Nashor's Tooth. Third item is then kind of whatever, just anything that gives AP is good. I mean, Death Cap is good, Jeweled Gauntlet is good, Archangels is not bad because they're both kind of ramping champions that scale up over the course of the fight. You could do what? Like you could do Giant Slayer. That's not terrible either. I don't know. There's like a lot of different possibilities. But you want blue buff and then Nashor's Tooth because they both have very low mana cost. They both have 30 for their mana cost. If you have blue buff and then you have a Nashor's Tooth, the Nashor's Tooth has permanent uptime. If you can't get that, Spear of Shojin's not bad. It's just not quite as good. So I'm going to try to get the Spear of Shojin, and that's my goal there. I'm also hoping to go up to 5 Fated relatively soon here, so I'm going to keep picking up the Fated units, and we'll look to go from there. I also have an Aphelios here. Now, you might think maybe I want to pair these units together, and in fact, I do end up pairing them. I was thinking about itemizing Aphelios, but then I was like, wait, no. Let's not itemize the Aphelios. Aphelios is just a trait bot in this team composition. If you're going to play Aphelios as a carry, you need to start going into units like Ashe and some of the other snipers, and I'm not going to be doing that in this game. We're doing the Dryad plus Fated comp, which is a heavily magic damage based comp, and the carry in that comp is Syndra. So I need to be doing things that give me additional ability power and itemizing the, like, I could slam a Rage Blade on the Aphelios, and that would definitely make me stronger in the short run. But that's not the direction I want to go with this game. That's not the way that this team comp is played. And it turns out that it actually ends up working out to play the Dryad plus Fated. Anyway, I have half of several different items here. Like I said, I have half of a blue buff, I have half of a Nashor's Tooth, I have half of like a Death Cap. So I would like to put some of these together. I also kind of wish I wasn't stuck on 7 gold here, but I really don't want to sell anything that's on my bench. Unfortunately, I do not have good carousel priority, and that was kind of a bad time to take a loss because it's right in the middle of the stage. Like, I had 2 wins, and then I have a loss, and like if I go back on a win streak again, then that loss is going to be like just in time to prevent me from getting any real econ going. So I would definitely take the tier if it's still there. Unfortunately, I am last pick. I'm losing a tiebreaker with somebody else here. And in fact, the person I lose the tiebreaker with actually runs forward and is going to go ahead and grab the tier. So no blue buff for me, apparently. A little bit unfortunate. And I would have taken the Rod for Death Cap. I would have been pretty happy to get that as well. But that's also not a possibility. So I will just go ahead and I will go ahead and take the glove because I can go ahead and I can potentially make a Jeweled Gauntlet here. I could also make a Steadfast Heart, and that's not bad either. But instead, I'm going to go ahead and make use of that, and I'm going to look to make the Jeweled Gauntlet. I've also gone ahead and gotten into 5 Fated. And I can do that because I have the Fated Crown. Without the Fated Emblem, I would not be able to play 5 Fated plus 2 Dryad, not this early. But I'm going to make sure that I'm continuing to stack up the Dryad trait from the beginning of the game. So, all right, we'll go ahead. We'll make the Jeweled Gauntlet. Let's go ahead and make this here, and we'll put that on Kindred. This is going to allow Kindred's damage to crit. It also means that there's less of a need for the Reaper trait, because now Kindred's damage will critically strike anyway. That's the one of the main things that Reaper trait does. The big thing that Reaper 2 does is it allows the Reaper's units to critically strike on their damage without having to need like Infinity Edge or Jeweled Gauntlet. I'm also sitting here at 9 gold. Do I want to sell this Rek'Sai to get to 10? I'm trying to think about it. Do I want to get to 10 gold here, or do I want to save the Rek'Sai? And I believe that I sell the Rek'Sai to get to 10. Nope, I didn't. I stayed at 9. I thought that I sold that unit, but apparently I did not. I guess the reason why I was holding the Rek'Sai is if an Ornn would pop up early, if I would happen to hit early Ornn, it would allow me to go up to 4 Dryad earlier. Okay, quick refresher on how these traits work. It's pretty far into the set, so most people are probably familiar with these, but I might as well cover them anyway. I'm currently playing through Fated trait. Fated trait is the Fated units unlock a bonus. You pair 2 of your Fated units together. All the Fated units have their own unique bonus, and based on what they get, you give that to the rest of your team. At Fated 3, only the pair get the bonus, but at Fated 5 and up, all of your Fated champions get that bonus, and they actually get a doubled version of the benefit. And then at Fated 7, all your Fated champions get 300% of the Fated bonus. So right now I have repaired this. I have paired the Kindred together with Ahri. Ahri provides ability power, and Kindred provides attack speed. By the way, look at this. This Bard has 3 health left. 3 out of 767. Are you kidding me? I really would have liked to have won that round so I could maybe get like some kind of a modest win streak going here, because my econ is not very good. And I understand why it's not very good. I made an early 2-star Gnar, and that 2-star Gnar costs a fair bit of gold. And I've been holding a lot of units on my bench as well. Unfortunately, I had a fairly expensive bench, or a fairly expensive board, but it wasn't enough to win streak. What was it? Win-win, loss, win-loss. Not great. Not great. So my board was expensive, but not strong enough in terms of quality for me to get a win. Anyway, I'm going to repair this, and I actually am going to pair with the Fated Emblem. The Fated Emblem gives health regen to all your units, and in the early game, that's actually quite strong. You don't want to keep that long term, but the Fated Emblem does give ticking health regen to the whole team, so that's going to be good for the moment, and I think that's going to be a little bit better than what I could get from the attack speed on Kindred. All right, so here I'm going to get a gold drop, and that is much appreciated. So because I have 2 swords, I'm going to go ahead and make the Spear of Shojin. Like I said, I have double swords, and I need to start killing some of these swords because this is a magic damage comp. It is not a physical damage comp. Again, I am not playing through the Aphelios. I'm playing through the magic damage dealing units. I'm playing through my casting units. So I need to start killing some of these swords. So I'll go ahead and make the Steadfast Heart here. I'm actually pretty happy with that item. Sunfire Cape is... I might not have made the Sunfire Cape. I got that for free from the augment. So it's not bad. It's a good early game item. Does not scale especially well into the late game. But at least it does give me a heal cut for the enemy team. And then the Steadfast Heart is pretty nice. And that'll be especially nice if I can put that on Orin later on, because Orin is going to get bonus extra stacking health from Dryad trait. So like I said, Fated trait, all the Fated units give a bonus to the other Fated units. That means they are not being given to Gnar, but every other unit on my board is a Fated champ right now. So right now they are all getting additional ability power from Ahri, and they're getting the ticking health regen from having that Fated emblem. Long term, I will want to swap this over to Ahri plus Syndra, but of course I will have to find Syndra for that to be the case. And by the way, this fight's pretty close, but looks like I am going to win this. I definitely do not win this fight, by the way, if I don't make the Spear of Shojin. So I would have lost that fight without Spear of Shojin. Got to use those items, and I'm still hoping that the bow can become a Gnasher's Tooth. All right, now it's time to pick a second augment. So I'm looking at the different options here. I was like, it's not Keepers. I don't want to clump up that much. Heroic Grab Bag, I don't think that I want that. I'm thinking about Ascension as a possibility here too. I think it's Ascension or Healing Arts. But then I get this, Epoch Plus. Now on at the start of every stage, gain 8 experience and 3 free rerolls for that round only. So I'll get extra XP and some free rerolls. So I was like, okay, well, you know what? Why don't I use these free rerolls? I'm going to go to level 6, and I'll use my free rerolls here, because I thought that maybe I could 2-star some on my board, and then that might allow me to win streak a bit. So anyway, I'm going to do that, and it actually does work out. So I hit level 6. This is an econ augment, by the way. It does not give you any in-combat advantage, but it allowed me to hit level 6 a little bit faster. It saved me a little bit of gold there because I got the 8 free experience, and then I got 4 free rerolls, and it was enough to 2-star Yasuo and 2-star Kindred. The 2-star Kindred being quite significant here. So this is something I'm taking in the hopes that it's going to help me maybe win streak here through the middle of this stage. And, excuse me. Unfortunately, I have to sneeze here as I'm doing this cast. But I'm hoping it'll allow me to maybe win streak a bit here, preserve some health, and I want to try to get to level 8 quickly, and then on level 8, see if I can find Syndra, because I really would like to take Syndras out of the pool before anyone else if they're contested. So if this augment's going to allow me to win streak, I'm pretty happy with taking it. And I believe that Epoch, which is the name of this augment, I believe this is one of the stronger performing ones in the data. So like I got a combat benefit from my first augment. I got the Fated Crown, and then I kind of took this economy augment for the second one, and I'm pretty happy with what it's done so far. Now we're going to get 2 component anvils. So the thing I most want to pull here is a belt, because I'd really like to make Gnasher's Tooth. Now that is not a possibility here. So I was like, out of these other options here, again, I need stuff that's going to fit in a spellcasting team composition. So I was like, all right, I'll take the tier, and then there's a belt there. So that'll get me the Gnasher's Tooth there. So that's not bad. Now I have the leftover items for another Spear of Shojin, and I was kind of like, you know, if I was going to Spear of Shojin someone else, you know, I do have this Fated emblem, right? I have this Fated emblem. Long term, I would really like to put this on a Azir, because if I could put this on Azir would get all of the all of the AP benefit from playing Fated units, because I'd like to get up to Fated 7, and I'd like to get to 4 Dryad over the course of this game. So long term, I'd really like to put this Fated emblem on an Azir. And then, and so I'm thinking like, well, maybe I could make a Spear of Shojin, and then if that goes on Azir, I'd have Fated Emblem plus Spear of Shojin. That feels really good. I don't need any more items for Kindred. Kindred's holding items for a future Syndra, so Syndra's itemization is already taken care of, and it's actually very good items for Syndra. Maybe not quite best in slot, but close to it. About the only thing I'm missing there is the blue buff. By the way, there's a Syndra on this carousel, and I would very happily take that. I could just play the Syndra right now, but I do not expect to get a Syndra with the very last pick. It's actually kind of bad that Syndra has a tier and Shen has a tier, because anyone who wants a tier is going to take the Syndra because it's on a 4 gold champ instead of a 2 gold champ. And sure enough, that does in fact get snapped up. So no surprise there. And now out of what's left over, over, I'm like, well, out of these other options, I guess I'll take the sword, because why not? I guess I could have taken another tier, but and maybe I could have made blue. Actually, maybe I should have taken the tier and looked to make blue buff there, but I don't know. I was trying to think what I could do with these swords and ended up grabbing this one. So anyway, for the time being, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do here. I would actually like to keep this win streak going. So I'm trying to think about, do I level to level 7 here? I would go all the way down to 20 gold. But I think it's probably worthwhile if I can keep my win streak going. So I'm going to go ahead and level there. I'll put in the Aphelios. And then I'm like, do I want to put any items on these guys? I do want to make this Spirit Surgeon for Azir, so I'm actually going to put this on Gnar. Even though this is a bizarre item to put on Gnar, I'm going to go ahead and stuff this on Gnar because he's just holding items for Azir in the same way that Kindred is holding items for future Syndra. All right, now in this fight, the only thing I need to do is I need to avoid the bindings from that Lux. I'm actually, I think, quite a bit stronger than this team, but look, Kindred's going to get hit by Lux ult. Now Kindred's going to dash out of the way, and now Kindred's going to jump right back into the path of the Lux ult again. Now Kindred's going to jump into the Ahri ult and jumps into the Lux ult again. I was like, what are you doing, Kindred? That was 3 Lux casts in a row that you jumped into. Are you kidding me? So that is horrendous combat RNG, and I lose a round that I have no business losing. I 100% should have won that round, but Kindred I just get the worst possible fight RNG. Kindred jumping into Lux ult again and again and again. And so I have just torched my economy to try to win streak, and instead I lose this ridiculous round from Kindred throwing themselves into the Lux ult repeatedly. And now my win streak is snapped, and now I'm down on 27 gold. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Oh my god. That's so bad. Oh, geez. I also am going to rebond. I'm going to bond the Kindred and Ahri again. So Ahri is giving my team ability power, and now Kindred will give them attack speed. I think at this point, we've reached the point where the attack speed is better than the health regen. If I'd had the extra attack speed, I also think Kindred would not have gotten hit there because Kindred would have jumped. Kindred would have had enough attack speed that they wouldn't have had these ridiculous timings line up with the Ahri, with the Lux cast over there. So that was pretty rotten RNG luck, and I really should be on full win streak here, but is what it is. Remember, by the way, at the end of stage 2, I also lost a round where there was the Bard with 3 HP out of like 800 health. So I'm that ridiculous Lux fight away and the 3 HP Bard away from being on like a 7-match win streak right here. But no, instead I'm only on a 1-match win streak. So yeah, all that work on all that investment into my economy not working. At least I will sell to get back up to 30 gold. But yeah, that's a little unfortunate. Definitely could have gone a lot better there. Well, anyway, I mentioned the Fated trait. I'm looking to go up to Fated 7. At Fated 7, I'm going to get 300% of the Fated bonus. In addition to that, we also have Dryad trait in here. So again, if you're unfamiliar with Dryad trait, again, we're pretty far into the set at this point, but just as a refresher, Dryad units gain stacking health. They get a flat amount of ability power for all the Dryad units, and then they also gain additional health every time you kill an enemy unit. Dryad units gain permanent max health. Right now, Dryad 2, they gain 3 health per enemy kill. At Dryad 4, it's 7 health per enemy kill. 7 health per enemy kill. So it's a scaling trait that gets stronger and stronger as the game goes on. Anyway, back to that in a minute. So I went to level 8. I used my free Epoch XP to get up to level 8. And now I'm using my free rerolls. I really just want to hit Syndra. Syndra would get me up to 7 Fated, and that's a really big spike for this comp. Now I'm going to find an Ornn, so I'll look to play that, and now I'm also finding some more Kindreds, but there we go. There is the Syndra. So now I need to play Syndra on this board, and boom, there we go. Now we have 7 Fated. I'm trying to repair the Fated Bond. Did I manage to get that off in time? No, I did not. So again, the Fated Bond for Ahri is you get ability power. Right now, Ahri provides, what does she give? 30 ability power, and we get 300% of that. So all the Fated units are getting 90 ability power. And then Syndra's Fated bonus is deal 11% more damage. So that gets tripled to 33% more damage. So you can see Fated 7 is a really big spike for the team. And right now it means anyone that deals magic damage is getting a huge benefit from that. Like I said, 90 ability power to every Fated unit and 33% more just flat damage. So that's why this build works really well for playing the Syndra as the main carry, because Syndra just gets like this ridiculous amount of AP and death. And then look at this, we get a Dryad crown here, gain a Dryad emblem, a Titan's Resolve, and a Gnar. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's going to allow us to play 4 Dryad here. I mean, I'll at least look at the other options, but there's definitely nothing better than that. So I'm 100% going to make the Dryad emblem. And the obvious person to put this on is the Thresh, because Thresh is holding all my tank items. So this is great. Now, what this really means is I do not even have to play Gnar on level up. I want to get a Azir in here, but now I can play 4 Dryad, and I don't even have to play Gnar. I can just literally dump him from my comp, because like normally in order to play 7 Fated, 4 Dryad, you would have to be level 9, but I do not have to be level 9. I already have 7 Fated, 4 Dryad in here, and in addition to that, I also have Thresh gaining the Dryad health bonus. So Thresh is my main tank, and he's getting the extra health from Dryad trait as well. I don't know exactly how many kills I have at this point. I haven't checked that recently, I don't think, but I think I have like 60 or 70 kills, so multiplied by 7 health per kill. I mean, I think I'm around like 500 health bonus from that. That's pretty significant. That's like almost basically an extra Warmogs, or very close to it, on all of my units. So I've got the Fated Emblem on Gnar. Again, that's going to go over to Azir once I can find Azir. And then I've got the Dryad Emblem on Thresh, and I'm really, really quite happy with this. So now that I have this, my goal is to get to level 9, because on level 9, I want to find Azir, and then I also want to find Set. And Set will replace Yasuo. And then I get just like kind of an extra unit to play as well. I was trying to figure out who I might play with that, but I'll probably just try to play some like expensive 5-cost unit. I don't even know who that's going to be right now. I mean, I could just toss like a random, like Aurelia on the board, I guess, because like Aurelia would give me Duelist trait, I suppose. Although I guess I lose that when I lose Yasuo, so I probably won't play that. I could play Annie for Invoker trait together with Azir. I could try to play Lissandra. Well, I mean, she's just another Arcanist. I mean, that would take me to 3 Arcanists, which wouldn't give me an extra bonus, but I mean, Lissandra can print items and she provides good CC, so I'll probably just play like another random 5-cost on level 9, but I definitely want to get level 9. I already have 2 out of 3 Syndras, so that's a little bit lucky. And again, that's the middle augment that I had there, the Epoch augment. That allowed me to just get to level 8 very early. I went level 8 on 4-1, and then I rolled quite a bit. I mean, I had those extra rerolls from Epoch trait, and then I also rolled myself down to 0 gold because I was trying to hit at least 1 Syndra. So I basically hit level 8 and rolled down before a lot of the other people in this lobby, and I was able to grab Syndras before anyone else wanted them. Also got 2 out of 3 Ornn, so I'm actually on some pretty important pairs here. I'm on a Ornn pair, I'm on Syndra pair, and like there's a Lissandra here. I wouldn't mind grabbing that and playing that if it's still there, but I am last pick, so okay. No surprise that that's going to get taken. So I'll just look to take the best thing I can here and, you know, see what I can figure out in terms of what we've got. I'm really happy with how the game's going. Like, I'm back on a win streak again, but like, imagine if I hadn't lost that game with or excuse me, not that game, that round with the completely ridiculous RNG that I had to that stupid Lux player. Like, I could be on easily be on like a 8-match win streak right now, and I'd have so much more gold. I'd be like almost halfway to level 9 already. Well, that's not going to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and take this glove, and I'm going to make another Steadfast Heart, because Steadfast Heart is a really good tank item. So I'll just put that on Ornn. The thing that the the Dryad augment gave me is it gave me a Titan's Resolve, which isn't really something I want. I don't have a great user of Titans, so I put it on Ornn. I mean, it's like okay on Ornn. It's not really the right item, but I didn't really have anyone else to put it on. You could say like, well, maybe Gnar, but remember, Gnar, the plan is for Gnar to come out of this comp as soon as I find Azir. So, I mean, I guess I could have put it on him because he's going to get sold, but like Gnar is not really the unit I'm looking for here. If you're wondering why I have Gnars on the bench, it's because maybe like there's an off chance that I could find like a Dryad emblem, and then I'd put Gnar back in and I could maybe play like 6 Dryad, although I would have to find Rek'Sai for that. I figure I might as well hold the Gnars. It doesn't really cost that much econ to hold a couple of extra Gnars over there, but that's why I'm holding those particular units. Anyway, I'm up against this stupid Lux board again, and once again, the Lux is doing a really good job of sniping my back line, and look at that. Gonna go ahead and hit Syndra. Do we have enough damage to finish this person off? Wow, I just needed one more cast, but no, unfortunately, we hit every single unit other than Lux. So we're not going to be able to kill that person either. So once again, that Lux board has interrupted my win streak again. Oh boy. But anyway, even though I lose that round and it's kind of bad for econ purposes, it's actually very important that I push to level 9 here. Because remember, the Epoch trait is going to give me 4 free rerolls, but they only last for 1 round. Like, I do not get to save them up. There's a bunch of things in set 11 that give you rerolls that last until you use them. But Epoch trait is not one of them. And I want to use those rerolls on level 9. So I need to have enough gold to be level 9 on 5-1 when I'm going to get those free rerolls. So it's very important that I be able to get to level 9. Even if I only have like 10 gold, I just want to be able to use those free rerolls on the actual level 9 so that I'm not using them on level 8. Because I want to try to, like I said, I want to find Azir, I want to find Set, and I do want to find the last Syndra and the last Ornn, and I have pretty good odds to find them on that level as well. All right, this fight's pretty close, but Syndra's still alive, and Syndra's most of my damage. This person's also playing Syndra right here, so I'm kind of contesting with this person, but look at the difference between our situations. I'm level 8, I'm going level 9, I'm going to be level 9 on the beginning of stage 5. This person's level 8, 0 gold, so they have no chance of getting to 9 anytime soon. So my position is a lot better than theirs, and of course, I have a Fated emblem and a Dryad emblem, so I'm really kind of riding high here. As I said, this is a pretty crazy Highroll game. To get a Fated emblem and a Dryad emblem is pretty ridiculous. And then I have this nice econ augment as well that's helping me push levels and hopefully get to level 9 here. I also have the most health in the lobby, so that happened somehow. I've kind of been crushing pretty much everybody ever since I got to the 7 Fated in. Again, 7 Fated is a really big spike, except that one Lux board, which is really annoying. All right, so anyway, I'm going to get some more component anvils here. And then, oh, a gold orb. What's this? Oh, a spatula pops out. Oh my goodness. So now I have 2 component anvils and I have the chance to potentially pull a spatula item here. Okay. So first I need to use my rerolls. Okay, there is an Azir. Thank goodness. We're going to move the Gnar items over to Azir. Let's go ahead and pick this. And now I'm looking here. I was like, okay, I really want to get a Dryad emblem. What do I need for the Dryad emblem? It's not a cloak. Okay, what is it? The Fated emblem is the rod. And so I'm still trying to roll here. I'm actually running out of time. I just need to put something else in. And then there's a Rek'Sai in the shop, so I'm going to grab that. So anyway, I need to pull, I believe it's the belt is the one that is... yes, it's the belt is the Dryad one, and that's not available on the first emblem, but it is on the second emblem. Haha. I pulled the rod because I could have made a Fated emblem with the spatula on the first if I was not able to pull the belt. So anyway, that was my hope there. And by the way, I'm actually losing this round here, but it's partly because my board is still not configured correctly. I kind of got caught transitioning here. But okay, now I'm going to have the opportunity to get this in. So with the belt here, I can make a Dryad emblem, and I can actually play 6 Dryad here. I just need to get the Rek'Sai on the board. We also get the choice of an artifact item, so I was like, okay, well, Syndra's fully itemized. Lichbane's actually pretty good on Syndra, but that's not a possibility. So let's put Sniper's Focus on Ornn. I think that's pretty good. Give him the extra range, and he deals more damage to targets further away. That sounds pretty good. All right, now I have an extra unit on here. I actually have 2 Aphelioses on the board, so we need to get Rek'Sai in there, and then we need to make the Dryad emblem. So there we go. And we're going to put this on the Yasuo, and boom. All right, there we go. All right, actually, I didn't even need... That's right, I have double Dryad emblems. I don't even need the Rek'Sai. I thought for a second I did need it, but no, I actually don't even need that. And then I'm going to hit 2-star Ornn, so I was like, okay, now my board is really taking off, and I'm going to use that leftover... whatchamacallit, I'm going to use that leftover rod to make an Ionic Spark, which is great because my whole comp is magic damage. It's really, really nice to have that MR Shred up on the front lines on Ornn. And then I even have the items left over for a final Shojin, which I will put on Kindred, because why not? Why not make use of Kindred? Kindred has Fated and Dryad traits innately, so they're going to get the bonus benefits from both of those traits, which I am really pursuing chase traits on both of them. 7 Fated, 6 Dryad. There's only 5 Dryad units, so you have to have at least 1 emblem to play Dryad 6, and I actually have double Dryad emblems, so that's why it's so easy for me to play Dryad 6. I'm playing Dryad 6, and I don't even have to play the Rek'Sai, which is pretty wild. All right, so again, 7 Fated. Right now, 7 Fated is giving all of my Fated units, which is literally every single unit on the board, aside from Gnar and... Who does not have Fated trait? The Gnar does not have it, and Ornn. Ornn does not have it. So everyone other than Gnar and Ornn is getting 90 ability power and 33% bonus damage. Then the Dryad trait is giving everybody who has the Dryad trait or a Dryad emblem, they're getting 55 AP and they're getting about 1,000 health, because Dryad 6 gives 10 health per enemy kill. And it says that, but I believe it was actually bugged and it was still giving 11 health. There it is. Total health 1,140. I've killed, so it said I had killed 99 enemies and I was getting 1,140 health. So that is clearly 11 health per enemy kill. So I think this might still be bugged. Yeah, I'm at 102 enemies killed, 1,170 health. Every single one of the units on my tank line has Dryad traits, so they're all getting 1,100 bonus health, and that's going to keep going up because I'm probably going to be killing 8 or 9 units per fight. Well, if I kill 9 units per fight and I get 10 or 11 health per kill, well, that's like another 100 health. Every single fight, I'm gaining like another 100 health on all my Dryad units, so that's pretty insane. Anyway, so on last pick on the carousel, time to grab something. I could have taken another tank item, but I actually thought my frontline tank lane was pretty strong already. So I'm going to take another item for Kindred here. And once again, Kindred and Syndra have almost identical items. I have 3 Spears of Shojin here, which is pretty hilarious, but I'm reasonably pleased with that. Like I said, I'd rather have a blue buff. I'd rather have blue on Syndra. I'd rather have blue on Kindred. But the Spear of Shojin is perfectly fine. It's not quite as good, but it's close. And then Azir definitely wants Spear of Shojin. So he's got the Fated emblem, so he gets, what? He's getting 55 AP from Dryad trait and another 90 AP from the from the Fated trait that he now has picked up. So he's getting like 150 ability power bonus. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. And then he has the Sniper's Focus, so he gets extra range and he does more damage to targets that are further away. So yeah, I mean, I'd say he's pretty strong. I'd say he's in a pretty good position. He only gets like 1 cast off per fight, but I mean, he did as much damage as Kindred and more damage than Syndra on that 1 cast because he just hits so hard. And he's still only a 1-star unit as well. So yeah, you know, I'm pretty happy with how this is going. 1,260 health, 111 enemies killed. I am just absolutely tearing through these other boards because you're really not supposed to have 7 Fated, 6 Dryad. You're supposed to have to give up something to get these traits, but I've just hit so many of these ridiculous emblems that it doesn't even matter. All right, now the one board that's win streaking is the Umbral board. They have a Loon 3-star. Their board looks reasonably strong, but Umbral actually does not scale that great into the late game. So what am I going to do? I'm going to put Azir and I'm going to put the Syndra in the corners. I'm going to put the Ahri and the Aphelios up on the 3rd row. And this is so that I'm hoping that maybe if I hit this board, I actually end up not hitting this board. I have someone who's playing Mythic reroll with Bard 3-star, going for Bard 3-star. They have Tomkins 3-star, Nico 3-star, Teemo 3-star. A lot of 3-stars, although my team seems to be cutting through this board without too much trouble. Let's see if Azir can get off 1 more cast. And yeah, Azir just deleted like half the team. Yeah, the other team, the Elune team, I want to put those units up in the 2nd or the 3rd row because I'm hoping that way Elune will not just hit the entire back line and delete everything instantly. So that's my hope there. And in fact, we're now down to just 3 of us here in the lobby. And I've been winning these last couple rounds pretty easily. So all I'm looking for right now is 1 more Azir to get Azir 2-star. And then I really need to find Set. Set will be just a replacement for Yasuo. Yasuo is only in there as a trait bot. But finding Yasuo, obviously Yasuo's going to be Set's going to be way better than Yasuo. Yasuo's a 1-cost, Set's a 5-cost. He will also give me Warden trait because I have Gnar on the board, and I'm going to give him the Dryad emblem, so he's going to have like 1,500 extra health. He'll also be able to start pumping up units, and again, his push-up thing gets more benefit the more health on the units he's doing push-ups with. So that's obviously going to be really good because all the Dryad units have insane health. By the way, I won 6 Kindreds. It's a shame I had to sell my Kindred to transfer those items. And there's a Azir 2-star, so okay, let's go. Let's go. It is a shame I had to sell the Kindred to transfer those items. All right, I'm also on 6 Thrushes, so okay, we'll just continue holding these and make Gnar 2-star. I'm definitely not going to hit Gnar 3-star. Now I'm looking for an item to go on Azir, or not on Azir, on a Set. So I'm going to take this Sterix Gauge, and that's going to be a good item to put on the Set whenever I can find Set. He has not shown up yet. He's been a little bit coy, not showing up for me, but sooner or later I have to feel like I'm going to be able to hit this unit because I have been on level 9 and I've been rolling for a while. By the way, I did get to use my Epoch's free rerolls there as well, so I was able to reroll a little bit more than before. Main thing it did is it gave me a Azir 2-star there, so watch, Azir's going to get his cast off, and yeah, he did 3,319 damage to that Elune. He one-shot that unit. Now, it was a ghost round, so I didn't do any damage to the other team, but yeah, 3,300 damage on a cast. That's a lot of damage there. Not too shabby. And all right, there we go. Finally, Set shows up. I wish he'd been here a little bit sooner because he could have started doing his push-ups a little bit earlier, but not bad. He can bench press the Ornn and he can bench press the Thresh, and they both have about 3,000 health, so yeah. That should be pretty good. Set himself is 2,970 health as a 1-star. Yeah, Dryad trait is doing some work, doing a little bit of work for me here. Just a little bit. So my board can't really get too much stronger right now. Oh, and I'm not up against the Elune board, so I'm going to reposition these units like so. I actually don't want to have my units in the corners because the Lilia on the other team often likes to target the corners of the board. Not always. She tends to focus wherever units are clumped up the most, but she does often tend to toss at the corners of the board. So we'll just try to make sure that my dummy units that are just trait bots are over there. I mean, this fight is it's not very close. I do 20 damage. I think I lost like 1 unit, and then my ghost is actually going to do a ton of damage to the other player here. So, I mean, yeah, this is not an especially close round. I'm just absolutely tearing through these people. I mean, that person hits Bard 3-star. Definitely has some nice artifact items for that particular comp, so we'll get a chance to see if they are a little bit stronger after this. But now I'm up against the Umbral board. I hit the Umbral board as a ghost earlier. Let's see if they do any better when it is not a ghost board. And yeah, we should be starting any second now. I would not mind finding a couple more Thrushes or a couple more Kindreds because I'm close to 3-starring them, but that's about it. Other than that, the only thing I can do to get stronger is I could find more sets. I mean, I guess I could technically go to level 10, but I don't think I'm going to get to level 10 before the game's over. Now, Umbral boards are pretty strong in the early game because they get that shield at the start of combat, but the shield does not scale particularly great into the late game, and we have enough damage that we just kind of punch right through the shields, and yeah, when Azir gets his cast off, he just absolutely annihilates everything. He did 9,700 damage, so we're going to knock that player out, and then now it's down to just me and the person who did the mythic reroll. And fortunately, they were able to win their ghost round, but of course, we know ghost rounds are pretty buggy. Now we have the chance to grab something else here. There's actually another Dryad emblem here, so I could just go ahead and take the Dryad emblem. I actually think I didn't spot the Dryad emblem when I was playing this. I could actually dump the Gnar, and then I could play like a Nautilus instead and still maintain Warden Trade or something like that. I think I literally just missed that there was another Dryad emblem, so I could have had 3 Dryad emblems here. And that would have been pretty nice. I could have put it on, I don't know. Actually, I don't even, is there anyone? I guess Aphelios could have held it. I don't know that I have anyone else that can even hold that. Anyway, I actually am up to 8 Kindreds right now. So I was like, oh, okay. I'll keep rolling for these Kindreds, right? Is there any chance I can find this? I'll go ahead and put that. I ended up getting a, what's that item called again? I ended up getting that helmet, so... Adaptive Helm, that's what it's called. I'll just put this on set because he's a frontliner, and that'll give him a few more tank stats there. So, yeah, it looks like this is pretty much over. I don't really think that this other board can compete with me because my team is so ridiculously out of control here. I mean, that's a very strong board over there, but like, yeah, 1,610 health from killing 150 enemy units. Yeah, I mean, it's somewhat close, but Azir is still alive. Azir and Syndra both did 8,000 damage. I actually thought that was going to be the last round of the game, but apparently I had one too many unit die. So it looks like we're going to have to do one more round here. Now, can I find the last Kindred for Kindred 3-star? That would be really nice. I was initially going to lock to try to grab the Thresh, but then I was like, this is going to be the last round of the game. Let's just be obvious. This is going to be the last round of the game. So I'll go ahead and sell the Thresh, and the hope is that if I sell the Thresh, maybe I can find one more Kindred here. I would certainly love to have one more Kindred so I can play Kindred 3-star. Can I find it? Find it. Come on, Kindred. One more. Ah, was not meant to be. I am level 9, so we don't have good odds to find the 2-cost units, but I was hoping. You know, I could hope, right? It's just, like I said, it's a shame I had to sell the Kindred to transfer items over to Syndra, but over the course of this game, I found 11 Kindreds, but I didn't quite manage to 3-star. So anyway, like I said, this enemy board is not bad at all, but my team is just high-rolled out of its freaking mind in this game. And as it turns out, this fight actually goes even better for us than the previous fight. And I think I only lost like 2 units the entire fight. So we cleaned that up. I did not lose any fights after I got my board in place with the 7 Fated 6 Dryad there. And I could have had 7 Fated 7 Dryad. It would have been the 7-7 game. I should have picked that up at the end of there. But oh well, I mean, too much of a good thing. Maybe I didn't really need yet another Dryad emblem there. I didn't even have anyone to put it on because I already had Dryad emblems on pretty much anyone who would have wanted one. Still, this was a fun game. I'm glad I got a chance to showcase this. Like I said, I think this was my biggest high roll of the whole set, to be able to play 7 Fated plus 6 Dryad in the same game. And you could see how it just tore apart the lobby, so it was not close. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this. Until next time, take care, folks, and I'll see you again soon.